Just acclimate them. Look at the size of this Maxima Clam. This kind of goggle versus... Good thing I got some more frag rack coming in. It's called the Maleficent. Actually bought a GMK Grandmaster Kraken. Hey, what's up, Reefers? I have an exciting update for you today. Well, local Reefer is breaking down his tank. I was able to buy some of his corals as well as a nice clam that he has had for 2 years. But I have not had the best success with Maxima clams up to this point. And from my last video, I believe that it is due to the bumblebee snails in my tank. I got 3 of them in the tank, and if they do not have enough food, they supposedly could go after snails or even clams. And that is something that I did not know until I did a Google search right after I was having these clam issues. So with the bumblebee snails out of the tank and also the remaining clam looking fantastic for the last 2 weeks, I figure, you know what, let's try Maxima Clam one more time. I am taking a page out of John Clamania's playbook. First of all, they all came from the same system, so I put the clam as well as the SPS together in one bag, and then I started dripping them, aiming for no more than 0.1 pH change per 20 minutes. Usually for SPS and for the zoanthids, pretty much just gonna pop and drop. Open it up, put it in. I've never had an issue. SPS for the most part should be okay as well, but I want to play a little bit more safe, and since I'm already acclimating the clam, figure I'll just drop the SPS in here as well and just acclimate them at the same time. Look at this. This is a good sign. Even inside the bag, the clam is already all opened up, ready to go. So Reefers, one thing I really want to address in this tank that I've been putting off is this piece of rock right here. This piece of rock sits right smack in the middle of the zoa garden, which I consider this portion of the tank. I really love zoas. I want zoas to have like a really big real estate in this tank. But these Grandis right here, as awesome as they look, they just kind of take up a lot of room, and also they kind of destroy the scale of the zoas around them. Basically, like everything is really small, make the tank look big, and then we got these like chunky polyps where it makes the tank look a little bit smaller than it really is. So I really don't want to do it, but I think I need to pull this whole rock out and frag off all these Grandis and either put them on the plug or really carefully throw them away because these contains polytoxins, and these contain more polytoxin than the standard zoas due to its size and the type that it is. So I really don't want to disturb them, but it looks like it's time. All right, guys, I look absolutely ridiculous, but we're getting ready to pull out and frag some of these Grandis Palythoas. So I am not taking any chances. I know I got a big mouth and talk a lot when I frag coral, so I got my mask on. The reason I'm using this kind of goggle versus those like little ones that you wear is because this gives me better vision. Not so much I'm so anal about things getting in from the side. All right, so I got this, my blue grabber. Getting ready to pull this whole rock out. I think it's gonna be a little bit heavy. I need my other hand help. So I'm gonna put you guys down first. Look at this. I found the old sponge. It looks like the orange sponge is still doing well. Have not seen him in a long time. And hey, there's a bumblebee snail that I've been trying to find. I'm gonna pull that guy into refugium as well. Look at the escape. Just without that rock, the escape opened up so much. All right, anyways, let me go ahead and address these guys right here. These are the big polyps I'm trying to pull off, and I'm gonna discard them into this little pail right here. I'm not sure if I wanna keep them yet, so I'm gonna try to peel them off with a tweezer right here, and that's why I really wanna wear gloves, because these guys are no joke. Oh, shit. You see a squirt, man? All right, let's do it in the bucket. And you see, you may have seen the squirt, and that is exactly why I wanna like wear a mask and wear goggles. Thankfully, most of these guys are coming out in chunks. They either attach to like an empty snail shell, or they're just really easy to peel off in a match. I'm also using this opportunity to clean out all the zinnias that was growing on this rock. With the Grandis off of this rock, I got some spots for zoas that I've been waiting for some time to mount. And these two came from Lynn. I think that one is Kamikaze, the other one I forget what the name is. And this one came from Brian, a local reefer. This is the is it Aphrodite or something? My plan is to actually try to incorporate the frag plug into the rock work, which you may think is weird. It's gonna look awkward. So my plan is that once the zoas actually grow off of the frag plug and onto the rock, which should not take too long, my plan is to maybe cut out the frag plug again and use that plug to like give them away or trade them with local reefers as an easy way to do it versus trying to like slice off a little bit of rock and then glue them to the plug that way. At least that's the plan. We'll see how it develops. Here's the tricky bits: getting this piece of rock back into the same spot without dropping it. It's tough. I think we're like maybe 50% there. I'll spend some more time on it.
One pair of pants later.
So earlier this week, we did a live stream with Shelf Aquatics. During the live stream, they share a lot of tips and tricks on how to properly keep and care for SPS coral, which is fantastic because right now, I'm sort of transitioning from LPS softies more into SPS now that the SPS I have seems to be thriving in this tank. If keeping SPS coral successfully is of interest to you, especially from someone who's transitioning into SPS, be sure to check out that 1 hour long Instagram interview with Shelf Aquatics on my IG account. Now, me and Shelf Aquatics has a pretty long history together. When I first started out as a wee little YouTuber, I visited them in the store and they have been super kind to me. Ever since then, we have this relationship going. And today they sent over another box of corals, and hopefully these guys will do well just like some of the other guys that they sent over before. Let's see what we got. Oh yes. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Even without putting it under any lights, look at this super green torch coral. That's absolutely beautiful. All right, let's take it. Wow. Yo, what the heck? Okay, so they sent me a Bill Murray before. That was like a tiny frag. This time they tripled or quadrupled down, thinking that I can really keep this guy alive. These are chunky frags, man. Wow, okay. All right, we got the TSA Bill Murray, we got the pink tip torch, and we got a GARF Bonsai. So after the stream, I was talking to Ernesto, and he was like, yeah, we want to send you some stuff to try out again. I was like, man, I'm running out of room. Maybe like 2 to 3 pieces of SPS, because I'm seriously running out of room. And of course, once again, Ernesto, thank you. Okay, I guess I'm all tapped out in terms of SPS. Good thing I got some more frag rack coming in. And actually it'll be a really interesting video because instead of just frag rack, I am actually building out escape upwards, more towards the light. But anyways, we'll talk a little bit more about that down the road. Right now, let me go ahead and acclimate these guys. Ah, these are beautiful. Dang, very nice. Oh, shit. My goodness, these colors are insane. But like a lot of corals that go into my tank, I think the color's gonna fade a little bit and then come back later. All right, here's an example of how Shelf Aquatics packed the corals. Basically, they got a frag plug in here, and we got these catch-up dips with a little cross cut out of it where they can jam the plug. And here's a really nice piece of Maleficent, I believe. Ah, chunky piece. Look at these. All right, now I'm gonna really carefully just pop this guy out. There you go. Alright, with all the frags safely in the tank, I want to give you guys a quick rundown. And I want to do this because SPS frag that goes in my tank has a tendency to change color. For example, that Oregon tort back there, it was a really nice electric blue. But in the span of about 2 weeks, it kind of dulled out. Probably because my light is not as intense and also the nutrient is a little bit high in my tank at the moment. So that is why I want to give you guys a really quick first-hand look at how these color actually is. So all the frags that came from Shelf Aquatics today is the first row right here. I'll start from the right hand side. The first one is the Thunderstruck, and the polyps already peeking out a little bit. Next one over is called the Fruity Pebbles, and I've heard this mentioned multiple times in their live streams, and this is a pretty popular piece from them. Third one over is called the GARF Bonsai, and this is one of the OG SPS, and this is one of the pieces that I really like. It got the nice intense purple with green polyp, and I'm just really hoping that purple is gonna stick around. Next one over is called a Bill Murray. For those of you who've been following the channel for a while, I've actually had another piece of this from them quite a while ago, and unfortunately that one did not make it. I believe it is during the dino battle. The nutrient swing is a little bit too much for it to handle and just kind of bleach out and never came back. Now finally, this piece is one of my favorite SPS from this package. This is called the Maleficent, but just check this out. Nice hot pink with a green base. This is absolutely beautiful. And as you can see, all the polyps are slowly coming in already. They've been in the tank for about, I think, 2 hours at this point. Now there's one more coral. Look at this guy right here. This is a pink tip green torch. This is amazing, amazing. Just look at how bright this coral is compared to the rest of the corals in my tank. It's kind of on par with the kryptonite candy cane right there. Granted, when this coral expand a little bit more, I feel like the color is gonna not be as intense because right now everything's kind of like squunched up so that it's more saturated in coloration. But just look at the potential. And in a few days, I'm gonna film this again to kind of show you what it finally looks like once it gets settled into the tank and opens up a little bit more. And one thing I really want to mention is the PNC frag holder that I got. So I've received this for a little bit and I never really pulled it out because personally I like these clear looking frag rack. I feel like it's less intrusive when it comes to just like looking at the frag tank as a whole. Looking at the reef tank as a whole, I feel like the clear acrylic one is a little bit less intrusive. But because I need a single frag holder for this particular torch coral, because as you know, torch coral, they're pretty aggressive, they can sting a lot of things. So I figured I'll use this PNW frag rack right here. And once again, this is a modular system. Right now I only got the single frag plate on here. It comes with also double and also triple. All right guys, we're gonna give these corals a couple days to settle in, and when it gets a little bit closer to Sunday, today's Tuesday, I'm gonna film again to show you guys an update on how they look then. All right, talk to you soon.
3 days later.
Alright guys, Saturday afternoon, I'm going to do some last minute update before I upload this video tonight. We just came back from the park, so Leon's all tired, ready to go to nap, so we're going to keep it brief. Alright, first off, let's talk about the coral that I picked up from a fellow reefer that's breaking down his tank. Right in the middle of the frame here, we got the Forest Fire digitata right here. This is one of my favorite Montipora digitata because of how vibrant the polyp is. Look at this burning orange and also the really vibrant green skin of the Monty. It looks absolutely beautiful, just like the one I have right there. But obviously, like I mentioned before, this is a much larger piece and I plan to plant it in the middle of the rockwork. You see where that huge gorgonian is right now? I'm thinking about removing that gorgonian, placing it maybe at the tip of this rock and then planting the Forest Fire Monty there. That's right. What are those?
Shark.
Shark? Not quite. What color fish is that?
Brown.
Yellow, that's right, that's a yellow tang. Alright, so that is one of the coral that I picked up. The other piece that I picked up that I'm really excited about is actually right in the back there. It is a hot pink stylophora. Now, it is a common and easy coral, but even though it is common, I have not seen one in quite a while. It used to be all over the place. Nowadays, I usually see purple ones, but that particular one actually looked hot pink in the hobbyist tank. He has purple and pink, and this one is like a hot pink, and he got it from Worldwide Coral. Having not seen it, and the fact that he was only selling it for 10 bucks, I just snatched it up right away. I simply cannot wait to see how this coral developed in this tank. What's that? What's this? Oh, he really liked this art right here, this 3D art. This is the Dickfish series from Tuan's Tattoo. Look at how amazing this looks, man. I apologize, we're gonna get some random babbling in this video, but that's cool. All right, another coral that I picked up from the hobbyist that's breaking down his tank is this rock full of Fruit Loops right here. I've always really liked the coloration of Fruit Loop. I have a small colony back here at the top of the rockwork. I figure, okay, I like it so much, let's go ahead and add another colony or two into this tank. And I got this for 30 bucks along with the what I learned to be rainbow, I think it's rainbow hippo or rainbow rhino. I think it's rainbow rhino. That's a blue and teal polyps right in the middle of the frame here. I cannot wait to see how the color morphs in this tank because I see there's a tendency for a lot of corals and also zoas to kind of morph a little bit once they enter the system. I think one of the most exciting addition from this particular purchase is this guy right here. Look at the size of this Maxima Clam. This Maxima Clam is really awesome. So this particular Maxima Clam, I did not realize it's gonna be this big. He sold it for, I think, $75 if I remember right. The mantle is almost like a black, dark purple, and then the pattern is like almost like zebras or tiger stripe, and it's a really reflective, shiny white. And I really wish I could show you from top down. I'll do that in a future video, but right now I have Leon in my arm, so it's kind of tough. Really interestingly, the Crocea clam, around this time, about 4 o'clock, ooh, it's lifting up a little bit. about 4 o'clock, it always like kind of retract a little bit. In the middle of the day, it's always really happy. Mental's always out, stretching out and stuff like that. But always around this time, it just kind of retract a little bit. Yeah, I noticed that one portion of the mental has been pinched a little bit. I'm not sure if this classifies as pinched mentals, but it's always around 4 o'clock during the day when the light is shifting to a more blue phase. Normally it's a little bit more white, so I figure maybe the clam's reacting to the light. I'm not sure. But good news is that Maxima Clam is doing well. The Gradis Clam is also doing really well. And this Crocea Clam usually is like fully open, only except about 4 o'clock. It's the strangest thing. Okay, next up we got to talk about the corals that we got from Top Shelf Aquatic, and we're gonna look at this frag rack right here. And I kind of briefly mentioned the name of all these different corals, and they've been in the tank for a little bit, and you can see that the polyp has started extending, especially just look at the GARF, the GARF Bonsai. And these are the guys right here. The Thunderstruck's polyp did not really extend. I mean, they got peeking out, while the, oh no, don't grab that. Usually we'll see a lot more polyp extension, especially on the Maleficent, the Murray, GARF Bonsai. Actually, but GARF Bonsai is looking pretty good here. And the Fruity Pebbles. Now the Thunderstruck, the polyp extension has not been great for me. They kind of peek out a little bit, but they did not really extend, not as much as the other ones. So I try to get them at a different time in a future video. But they have all looked good. I'm just really happy that they did not bleach out. I'm so glad. Yeah. Moving on, the other coral that I'm really amazed with is the pink tip green torch from TSA. Now, I have been on this rampage of trying to find gold torch, but seeing how this one looks simply amazing. When it's about like 1 or 2 o'clock, that's when most of the corals are open most fully. The length of the tentacle is about 1.5 times like this. And surprisingly, the coloration is not that different. So I will just have to once again try to catch this coral later on when it's fully open and show you guys. Same thing with the gold torch. Right now it's actually 3 heads. I got it as like a one head that's kind of pinching off a little bit, split into 2, and then recently the bottom one split into 2 again. So we got a 3 heads New York next there as well. So I'm been getting really lucky with these Euphyllias and gold torch. And finally, it brings us to these zoas that I am growing out for Lynn. Like I mentioned, Lynn won these from a waffle, and recently I keep calling waffle, it's actually raffle, but on Facebook people call them waffle. Otherwise, it gets shut down real quick by Facebook. So not too long ago, I actually bought a GMK Grandmaster Kraken for $150 per polyp. Unfortunately, it melted on me like within a week. And having heard that, Lynn was like, you know what? I actually just won a raffle that contains a GMK, and that's this guy right here. Why don't you hold on to these for me and see if you can grow them out? And Lynn said that once these grow out, she just want like a head back for each of these guys, and that would be it. And of course, we can't do that. My plan is to grow these out, and I'll take maybe like a head from each and then give all these back to her. But just look at all these crazy zoas. The one up front is the GMK that is about $150 per polyp. It used to go for like $1,000 to $2,000, some ridiculous amounts. And I know that there's also like exospheres and stuff like that. I'm not too well versed in terms of zoa names at the moment, especially the higher end ones, but I know awesome when I see awesome. All right, fellas, I would love to stay and chat, but little Leon here is getting a little tired and a little restless, so we're gonna go take a bath, and I'm gonna put him to bed, and then we'll see. I'll hopefully be able to find some time to put this video together for tomorrow. Oh my goodness, can you believe it's Sunday already? If you're still here, thank you for hanging in there and making it to the end of this video. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys next Sunday at 12:30 p.m. sharp. Fantastic coral food. There's a reason why it's so popular, but it does bring up your phosphate from what I understand. So treat it with respect as you would any food.